Greetings of peace and light from Sunday Sadhana and SABC 2. In our special documentary today, we delve into the secrets and benefits of meditation. This ancient practice involves the emptying of the mind and its mundane matters to connect one with divinity. Join us on a spiritual journey as we transcend the limitations of this physical world to a limitless, infinite, divine realm, escaping to a spiritual realm beyond time and space through the promise of meditation.
In the Hindu tradition, it is believed that although man is at the pinnacle of creation, more importantly, man is at the last stage of evolution, coming initially from the elements that make up matter, the material that manifests the world of stars, sky, mountains, land and rivers, through to life forms of plants and animals. It is also the belief that of all the millions of life forms that the essence of man has evolved through, it is only in this refined form of life as a thinking being that it is at all possible to make that ultimate, final connection back to the Creator. For this evolution to come full circle, he has to engage the faculty of the incisive intellect and find that ultimate truth. And so, like a spyglass that can catch a glimpse of land, of hope for seafarers, the intellect plays that crucial role to focus and direct this being back home.
I allow the body to become still and relaxed, and as I become still, my thoughts begin to move inward. I become aware of myself as a beautiful being of light energy sitting within this body in the center of the forehead, a star-like being of pure light energy. I am an eternal being, a being of peace, love, happiness, joy, wisdom, and power.
Meditation is connecting to that greater universe as being part of your sadhana. So the different sadhana spiritual practices are different for different people. But meditation, a few minutes of meditation included in your spiritual practices, allows your inner joy to blossom.
When people think about meditation, they think about quieting their mind, and sometimes people even think they have to stop thinking. But actually, when you meditate on something, it's like you're giving your focal attention to it. And so where you put your attention, that's where the life will grow. And so when we think about meditation in relationship to us, what we're really doing is we're focusing our attention on ourselves and to understand and discover who we are. And as we give that attention to ourselves, that inner core that is within us actually starts to flourish. But our deep center is very peaceful and very powerful. So when we meditate, we focus on that. We can then emerge the positivity. Hence, people link meditation with peace.
Meditation is a mind without feverishness. That is meditation. Bringing the mind to the present moment. That is meditation. A mind without agitation is meditation. So a mind comes back to its source. That is meditation.
In the Kali age, I think the idea of meditation would be something to get a little bit more focus on a certain thought or principle or object. So meditation in our terms would probably mean a single flow of a certain thought.
We are constantly boom, 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 bombarded by our thoughts. And if not our thoughts, our emotions. And if I would ask anybody, now stop thinking, they would stop for a little while. And then I would say, hey, I think again, or I don't think, but that would be a thought. So the Kundalini, when it crosses this here, this third eye of Sri Shiva, then it opens a space called Vilamba in Sanskrit, and that is the space of silence. So that's the beginning of meditation.
The youth of today have a big challenge because they have all these distractions in the form of TV and music and all forms of social media. So we try to multitask, which is another thing that goes against this whole principle of being focused. You know, you're trying to do something here, and at the same time you're trying to do something there and listen to a third person, and we're actually becoming scatterbrains, really. So what is actually happening is we remember less, we focus less, and we are less productive in whatever we try to do.
When I first started, it was that question of who am I? And when I understood that I'm a soul, I'm the spiritual being, and I started off by just giving myself clear points of understanding. What happens with most people when there's uncertainty about who I am, where I come from, you know, am I going to die? What's going to happen to me when I die? All these kind of thoughts creates uncertainty and peacelessness. So then we're thinking a lot of thoughts. Hence worry is just thinking in an uncontrolled way. And so when I have knowledge and I have wisdom, I actually know very powerful information about who I am, who I belong to, all those kind of things. And so then what am I trying to investigate? What am I trying to reach? I know, I am. And then I am able to allow those thoughts to feed me.
And this meditation, if we do it regularly, you'll find that it softens the person. It makes one more connected with everyone else. It's about shedding all the darkness in oneself, you know, the vices that we might have, or the ignorance, or the hatred, or the jealousies. This meditation is about dislodging all of those from our framework.
In the span of evolution, from matter to life, from plants to the pain of being animal, from sticky instinct to that ultimate freedom, all are pieces of the bridge to help forge that connection with the divine. The thousands of thoughts that make up the desires, that make up the mind, become the constant spur to a sense of higher peace. The unbundling and shifting of these thoughts is the key to that freedom, or moksha, as it is known in Hinduism. In fact, meditation, like chanting or yoga, becomes the tool to slow down thoughts, to witness thoughts, and feed only thoughts that help make that ultimate connection or communion.
I didn't really have hours on end to sit and meditate, but I used time in between to focus my attention on what was interesting to me. And I was very interested how thoughts was affecting me. If I thought like this is how I'd feel. And so started working on it like that. So it's really a study, I feel. So I would invite people to explore a little bit about knowing yourself, understanding the effects of thoughts on your life. And once those kind of things are clear to you, then you can start practicing it.
When we try to meditate, we try to calm the mind down and still the thoughts that come out of the mind, so that the mind frees itself from that hold that it has over the external world.
The two senses that take us away always is sight and hearing. The others just hang on. They are hangers on, the other three senses. So if you can take away the noise aspect, that's why you find a quiet spot. And then if you close your eyes, so then because if somebody just walks past, you get distracted. So that is why when you close your eyes, then you go within. So again, it's not Even in a total crowd, you can able to meditate if you're just comfortable with being in it with yourself.
We use light in meditation, and it's a focal point of our attention. When we sit and meditate, we also focus on the point of light. And how that's useful is that if sometimes my sense organs, which are still connected to the world, get distracted, if my vision is on that point of light, it'll again direct me to being that inner being.
The nature of the mind is whatever you resist will persist. So if you're meditating, if any thoughts come, you just witness it. Be the witness. So without resistance, effortlessly, that relaxes the mind. So moving away from the senses, taking yourself inward and realizing and connecting with the inner joy is meditation. And you don't have to get yourself removed to some faraway spot or in some mountain or something. Part of your daily life can be a meditative state.
What happens in the process of meditation is you use the mind to become unaware of the mind. The mind is a very important organ, if we may call it that, to either link us to the objective world, the physical world, or take us inward towards the real you, the real personality or divine principle that you are. So it is the mind that can liberate or bind.
As the thoughts become purer, they become fewer and slower and more calmer. So that's the first stage. And contemplation really means you can get those thoughts suggested to you by reading or commentaries and just getting information. And then from there you get to a point where people start having realizations. Because when you get into the process of meditation, you're going to start experiencing the effect of slowing your thoughts down, of having positive thought. Then people realize from that point, okay, now if I do this, I can do that and I'll get that as a result. So the person now gets involved in their journey. It's no more what somebody else is telling them, but they're actually starting to churn. What we say churn is take the information and digest it and start making their own. And that actually becomes a powerful stage, because once you've had that experience and you realize, then you start implementing. And from that stage of implementation, then we'll say transformation starts happening. So now, not only am I saying I'm peaceful, but I can bring that peace into the things I do. And as I become still in this awareness, I'm able to detach myself from this physical body and move beyond into a world of light, a world of pure peace, the home of I, the soul. In this dimension of light, each one of us, all 7.5 billion human beings, reside in that world as souls, children of one Creator, one world family. In that world of light, there's absolute unity, peace, oneness, and the collective energy of power that we create. It is in this world that I can feel a sense of belonging and power, filling myself with the sense of peace and power, I bring myself back to the physical body, and I become aware of myself, that I'm not ordinary. I am a powerful being, and with the power of my thoughts, as I generate these thoughts, I can bring peace to my surroundings, and furthermore, allow that peace to work through all the actions that I perform throughout the day, creating peace for myself and peace for the world.
We should do this type of meditation very early in the morning when the senses are very less active and we have less influence over the mind. You know, mind is still calm. You just come out of a deep sleep, and the workings of the mind, the active mind, the thought mind, the thoughtful mind is very much very still at that point. So it is a good period to actually do meditation very early in the morning.
Because that is the time, like at dawn, the awakening, where the prana is high. Prana is your subtle force. We all operate on prana, and the entire universe. We're sitting in a bed of prana. Around us is prana. And at that time, at dawn, the prana is very high.
There are quite a few postures that you can actually sit in, and you can choose one of them which is quite comfortable, with your head, neck and back in a straight line, as erect as possible. You try to keep your body as still as possible throughout the whole process of meditation, and this helps in the depth of meditation.
Journey to self-respect is still the ultimate, because once we totally realize ourselves, we'll come into that stage. But I can see that those have been the stepping stones so far.
Together with questions like, where did I come from? And where am I going to? Is the question of, what am I? Or who is the I that can witness these thoughts? This is the self referred to in meditation.
There's lots of different types of meditation. You know, you can close your eyes. Certain organizations would use an open eye meditation technique where they just focus on, you know, like a light or something, and that it's all different techniques. The technique is just to get you to the point. Once you connect with the source, then there's no separation.
As consciousness evolves and expands, life's warp and woof wilt away into an even tone. There is a feeling of oneness of everything, and deep understanding dawns. With this is an experience of unconditional love. Petty primal emotions part away to an experience of centered awareness, of living in the moment and being free of the past.
I've had that experience of little babies who were either colic or very suffering with some kind of discomfort at birth, and just keeping them in my arm and myself going into a very positive state, actually finding that ability to calm them down. Maybe they're not consciously thinking, but they can actually connect with your vibration and become still.
See, meditation is not concentration. The result of meditation is a better ability to concentrate. And you find people who do this on a regular basis, their decision-making skills have improved. They're focusing on whether it's their job or whatever, becomes very sharp. There's clarity in their mind, clarity in their vision.
It's the same as devotional singing or bhajans. It's the same as Vedic chanting. It's the same as any good thoughts. When it permeates atmosphere, it cleanses the atmosphere. Is that it actually changes your attitude towards things. You become so much more calm, so much more tolerant, so much more perceptive. You'll just see a change in you.
I used to have very restless sleep, for example. I used to dream. And as soon as I started meditating, I don't know what a dream is. And I know the quality of my sleep had changed completely.
You actually start getting happiness from day one. There's no doubt about it. And the more progress you make, the more successful you are in your meditation, the happier you become. There's bliss.
And then also what it does, it makes you more accepting of people. See, okay, I do get angry. I used to have been known to have the anger at the tip of my nose, just get very, and however now, it's not a state I want to be in. When I experience these negative emotions, it's not my nature, that I want to get back. I cannot hold a grudge anymore.
For me, what I've seen as a benefit, just as a young person without any other attainments, the power of my thought and the determination to do anything. I think there are very few things I will find impossible. I know even if something is difficult, for me there's that feeling that, just keep at it and it'll happen.
To experience the benefits of meditation, regular practice is necessary, and its effects can bring about true personal transformation. One's sense of happiness increases. With the mind more controlled, it can be harnessed with more productive thoughts. Admittedly, when the mind wanders, it is not generally to the beauty in life. More likely, it is to trials and troubles. Dwelling on troubles grows sadness, and yet focusing on beauty, as meditation techniques profess, simply can grow happiness.